Oh boy. Well, Donald Trump was just asked about the release of the Epstein list, and his response, a little unorthodox.
Sir, yeah, is there something incriminating in the file, sir?
Quiet. Yes, of course he called her a piggy. As it looks like tensions are definitely pretty high, as it definitely does look like the list is going to be coming out anytime, any moment right now, which is going to be huge, as already Bill and Hillary Clinton are not complying with their depositions. What in the world's going on here? As one of their top surrogates, Larry Summers, a man connected to many intelligence agencies, secret societies, now has officially withdrawn from the public spotlight right before the release. What's really going on here? All of this is now the House, in the making of this video, will be voting on releasing the files. Will they be released, though? There's some skepticism and some very serious words from MTG and Congressman Thomas Massie that are doubtful. Epstein's brother, by the way, also came out and said, yeah, we're not going to get the files. Will we? We're going to be examining that and a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. And if you appreciate our steadfast work covering this for over 15 years, putting our lives on the line, exposing a lot of this stuff, going to the places where a lot of people were afraid to go to for a very long time, subscribe, because there's a big underhanded effort to try to, now it looks like the dam's breaking, and it's an absolutely wild time to be alive. As right now, a lot of the people are saying that this is not a nice comment. And listen, whether it's the comments against Thomas Massie or MTG, it definitely does seem like there is a little bit of emotion. And listen, there's a lot of information that, as MTG pointed out, exonerates Donald Trump. But a lot of the pressure from the media, from the establishment, has been put on him. But also, let's not forget Tricky Bill, cigar man over here, who ditched Secret Service, according to many sources, and decided to spend lovely evenings and times with Jeffrey Epstein, as now there are multiple DOJ officials and government officials coming out and saying, yeah, they had a back room on the 727, which was the official airplane of the CIA that they loved because you didn't need to decompress when you were throwing money, drugs, people, or anything out of the back hatch that you could just open mid-flight. Very convenient. Look at that. In the back of that plane wasn't just a hatch. There was a bed. And there are multiple reports of children being hurt and abused and weird stuff going on with Bill Clinton on the flight. Okay? The guy ditched Secret Service. Yeah, shoot Secret Service. Let's go. Now, there are Epstein emails talking about how he wasn't on the island. Again, Epstein was kind of not the most honest man. All right? So, was he not? I don't know. But I think it's fair to say, I think there should be equal scrutiny against everyone associated here, not just Donald Trump here. As, of course, now we're getting the news, according to Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, Bill and Hillary are refusing to appear before the House Oversight Committee for the Epstein deposition. Yes, you heard that correctly. Revealed a couple moments ago as the Clintons were, quote, as the Gateway pundit writes, among several high-profile political figures, including former U.S. Attorney General and ex-FBI director, subpoenaed in August 2025 as part of an expanded congressional investigation into the federal government's handling of the Epstein case. Hillary Clinton's deposition was originally set for October 9th. Bill Clinton was scheduled for October 14th. Both were delayed at the request of legal counsel. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer made the announcement via X as, listen, I want to see all these people, Mayor Alec Garland, James Comey, William Barr, Alberto Gonzalez, Listen, Epstein was visiting Bill Clinton's White House on multiple occasions, okay? He's even in the visitor's log. And then the people who exposed the visitor log, what happened to him? people were Clintoned. The guy that connected and was the kind of liaison between Epstein and Clinton also magically just mysterious circumstances. Weird how that happens. Weird how that happens. Can we get some insight into that? We reported on that here. Like, hey, the guy that was the liaison, the guy sneaking in Epstein into Bill Clinton's White House, right? Epstein was in Bill Clinton's White House a lot. What in the world was he doing there? And they're like, yeah, come on, let's get Kevin Spacey. Let's go to the Royal freaking Family Lounge. Yeah, let's go to Africa with, let's bring in Chris Tucker. Come on, Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker's all very silent about everything that kind of happened here. Anyway, before playing the kind of bombastic clips from MTG that some people love, some people hate, a lot going on right now. We're going to get into it as there's big theories about how we're not going to get the list. Before getting into all that and a lot more, if you want to support our work for over 15 plus years on this, we've been working 21 years on everything that's been kind of strange and weird here. Go support us on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Get the shirts. They make perfect Christmas gifts. And, of course, we have a whole bunch of Epstein T-shirts. We got censored. BuzzFeed wrote an article about us being like, these are bad people. Our T-shirt store was brought down. First, we were demonetized. We're like, we got to make money. Why? Because we wouldn't stop talking about this Epstein stuff. YouTube was like, nope, cut. Demonetized. We're like, we got to make money. I started a T-shirt company. And then we broke the whole Epstein stuff, and then we made Epstein T-shirts to support our work. They wrote an article about, we are changed bad. They were like, we don't like it. They're bad. And then our T-shirt store got taken down. We brought it back up. It's back up right now on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And you could get shirts like the one that I'm wearing right now that says, where's the Epstein list? I think it's a good shirt. I think it's an important one. And if you agree... we have a lot of Epstein-related stuff. We have this one, America Run on Blackmail, as we altered this logo here. And it's a pretty funny one because people are like, oh, yeah. And then they look and they go, oh, interesting. I like to culture jam. I like to make people think. I like to make people laugh. I like to bring people together. And nothing brings them more together than a very kind of eye-opening, holy cannoli, did he actually... say that or represent that? Is he actually wearing that shirt here? I got to talk to this person. We are of like mind, and finding those people in your life is incredible, and they become your friends. And the best currency you could have is social currency. Do your own lazy form of activism. Go get the shirts on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. They're cheap, they're affordable, especially with inflationary prices. We haven't increased the prices of them, and we're going to make the T-shirt store limited edition items in the future. As of right now, all the T-shirts are still available. Get them right now. Get them for the holiday season. They make great stocking stuffers, and we have all sorts of T-shirts, whether women's T-shirts, tank tops, unisex, you name it. We all have it, all here exclusively on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Now, let's get back to this here, right? As Congresswoman Anna Luna says, Democrats have nothing to say. Yeah, because the Democrats are implicated, as a lot of people are responding to all this news of the list and everything else being released here, saying, yes, release it. And then people are like, no, but the system's going to collapse. And people are like, yes, more, give me more. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. As right now, MTG has been speaking at a press conference with victims that are there in Washington, D.C., and she had a lot of things to say about Donald Trump, who she has been actively engaged in a war of words with. Now, Donald Trump continued, and we talked about this yesterday, and we went through all the videos of Trump kind of attacking MTG, MTG responding, releasing text messages. Now, MTG, during this press conference, decided to fire back against Donald Trump even more seriously.
That's what we did by fighting so hard against the most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States, in order to make this vote happen today. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. and I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first.
You can see that there's a lot of emotion involved here, since clearly there was like a love relationship and a hate relationship. It's like kind of awkward, right? You're kind of watching this relationship unravel in front of everyone, and it's like, can we just all get along? And it looks like we can't. And the main issue that broke them up is the Epstein stuff.
And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people, whom we serve as representatives here in Congress, demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files, but the real fight will happen after that.
Now, what does she mean the real fight will happen after that? As, of course, there's a lot of questions still remaining. As soon as it came out that this discharge petition was going to move forward and people were going to vote for it, including Thomas Massie, including MTG, including Lauren Boebert, it looks like Nancy Mace was able to be persuaded. We'll see how this vote goes. But Donald Trump brought in Nancy Mace, brought in Lauren Boebert, and they're like, yeah, you're not voting for this. We'll see how they'll vote. But overwhelmingly, it looks like Donald Trump does not have the vote to stop this. He then came out saying, yeah, release everything. Release it, whatever. The vote will be moving forward. We'll see how Nancy Mace and Boebert will be voting. But the biggest difference is, of course, the two Republicans that Donald Trump has declared war on. As MTG now is making a bombshell conspiracy claim that we won't get the files. Why? Because before, as Trump was in the middle of fighting all this, as this was kind of moving to a head and he was kind of working behind the scenes to make sure the Republicans wouldn't vote for this, as this was all happening behind the scenes, Donald Trump also said he's officially launching a new investigation into the Epstein stuff. Now, with a new ongoing investigation by the DOJ is going to be like, yeah, we're going to have to hold on to these files. We can't release them because we're still investigating it. And we won't be able to see anything. Now, again, a lot of the Trump supporters are like, yeah, we have an investigation. We're going to go do it. We're going to release it. We're going to get it. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Can we think about this? Can we think about this a little bit? Can we contemplate and try to realize that this administration has been doing everything they can not to release this? And with them not trying to release this, you think now, with them prolonging and not releasing it even more, that they're going to somehow do it magically? No, right? So clearly, there is something there, right? It's pretty big. It's pretty massive. And listen, MTG makes an important point here. Thomas Massie also had a very similar point here. And this is what I think MTG was talking about. The fight is going to start as soon as we pass this, because the Trump administration is going to be like, there's not. I will correct myself if I am wrong. The most likely scenario is they'll come out and be like, yep, listen, guys, we're investigating the Democrats now, so we can't release these files.
Well, he got tired of me winning, so he joined our side. I have no animosity toward him. I regret that it got personal for some folks, but it never has for me. It's always been about the survivors.
What do you make of this reversal? I mean, after months of fighting you.
Well, the Speaker, the Attorney General, the FBI Director, the President, and the Vice President could have saved us all this time and embarrassment, frankly, for our own party. if they'd just done the right thing 4 months ago.
Now, listen, there was also a very wild exchange between Thomas Massey and Kash Patel. It was also very eye-opening, to say the least.
Believe him, Congressman? I mean, for weeks he's been pushing against this. Now he says he supports it. Do you buy it?
He's only supporting it because the president told him to support it.
No,
That's what Mike Johnson does.
No, I'm talking about do you buy President Trump saying that he wants the House to pass this resolution?
Well, I'm concerned that now he's opening a flurry of investigations, and I believe they may be trying to use those investigations as a predicate for not releasing the files. That's my concern.
You think they'll try to block it?
Well, they will. I'm afraid they're going to try to use a provision of the law that.
Now, if Trump does this, everyone's going to be like, what's in these files? And again, everyone's still asking that question, but they're going to ask that question even more. This is right leading up to the midterms, and everyone's going to be like, what's up with this investigation? And they're going to keep denying it, and then everyone's going to be like, I don't want to support this in the midterms.
Allows you not to release these materials if they're subject of an ongoing investigation and would harm, and the release of which would harm the ongoing investigation.
So what do you think this is all about for President?
Yeah. As people are like, POV, you're reading the Epstein files. As Jeffrey Epstein's brother came out and said the Epstein files are currently being sanitized to remove the names of high-ranking politicians before they are released here. Now, I don't know if he has insider sources, but again, it's Epstein's brother. Epstein had a lot of connections to Washington, D.C. The guy was literally texting House Democrats during the Cohen hearing about how to successfully attack Donald Trump. You heard that correctly. Yep. You heard that right. During committee hearings in 2019, February 27th to be exact, Jeffrey Epstein was actively texting House Democrats to help attack Donald Trump. So clearly, the two were against each other. Now, Donald Trump has brought up a lot of prominent Democrats. There are a lot. Individuals like, Bill Gates, other top billionaires also associated, other top big banksters. Larry Summers, who, by the way, just announced that he's going to be withdrawing his public roles. He's the former Harvard president, U.S. Secretary, Treasury, Bilderberg member, Secret Society member. And there's new emails that came out that talked about how he was actively working and participating with Epstein all the way up until days before his arrest. Now, it also came out that Epstein was seeking advice on his, quote, extramarital relationship with a tenured Chinese economist that he called mentee. Using the term Pearl in their exchange and maintaining contact until the day before Epstein's 2019 arrest, he was like, hey, man, I'm trying to get jiggy with it. I don't know if that's the exact words he used, but he announced that he is, quote, deeply ashamed of his ties to Epstein and is stepping down from public life. Now, what else was he doing? What else was he up to? As, of course, this is a big famous photos of Larry Summers. Not a lot of people are bringing up like, oh, yeah, here's him with Epstein. And, of course, the liberal leftists loved this man. And he represented the perfect type of neoliberal globalist secret society faction of Washington, D.C. that was always praised. Now, this guy stepping back, ashamed. Why don't you give us a little bit more details? What exactly are you ashamed of? What actions took place with the guy that you were hanging out that was procuring small underage children for powerful people to do whatever they wanted to do with? What was that? I have a question. I'm a little curious here on exactly what in the world was going on. And again, major big time player, World Bank, Bill Clinton, Lanky, MIT, Harvard, Intel agency connections, secret society agency connections. As John Lefebvre writes, here he is making jokes about the deviance and debauchery of the elite ruling class. People still do not understand. Bankers, CEOs, billionaires, politicians, academics, all of the people we tell our children to revere, aspire to, or many, they are all corrupt scum. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. As again, the guy was texting Epstein right up till July 5th. And what was he asking Epstein right before he was arrested? Advice on leveraging into bed a Chinese economist whose father is a senior CCP official. Yep. Of course, lots of CCP type vibes, as Epstein was literally helping JP Morgan with Chinese markets. The guy was brokering deals, security deals for Israel, which I think is important to bring up. Again, Larry Summers was complaining about Africa being underpopulated. These people are wild, they're crazy, and they're far more debaucherous than you could even imagine. The dam is breaking. Will we get the pulse? I don't think so. And with this oncoming fight, this is only going to be more of a disaster. And it never had to be this way. Whoever is advising Donald Trump needs to step down and be fired immediately. And if you agree, share this video, get the t-shirts, support our work on thebestpoliticalshorts.com. I can't thank you enough for doing that. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys watching, subscribing, sharing, getting this video out there. We're still negative, like 648 subscribers for the year for some strange reason. Your attention, your subscription, double check your subscribe means a lot to us. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechannel.